All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to yet another live stream. It's been a few days since we've done a live stream. I've just been a bit under the weather. I am still under the weather. Still a little bit of runny nose, bit of, stuffed up sore throat, bit of headaches, but hopefully it's all clearing up very, very soon, and I'm on the way to recovery. Just a bit of cold that's going on. It's very cold actually here in Sydney, Australia. So look, I've actually been quite okay for the past 12 months, but the rest of my family were down. My kids, my wife, they were all down with the flu. And then eventually enough, it ended up getting me as well. I was actually doing all right. I wasn't getting sick, but 2 days into them getting sick, I ended up catching it. And hopefully it's starting to, get out of my system soon enough. So apologies if I'm a little bit if I'm sounding a little bit stuffy on my nose, if I'm a little bit heavy voiced as well, apologies, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, Tosin announced just as you go live. Yes, maybe Chelsea Football Club was waiting on that. And let's share that. Look, my intention wasn't to talk about Tosin, but we'll talk a little bit about Tosin. Big up to you, Valan. Obviously, this has now made the headlines. We'll just have a quick look at that. Chelsea Football Club has announced Tosin. Tosin is a blue. I think it's a smart piece of business, man. I really do think it's a smart piece of business. It's on free. We're looking for a defender, maybe even a couple of defenders, depending on what happens to Chalobah. Thiago Silva, as we know, has already left the football club, which obviously meant that we needed another defender on a free. I think this is pretty smart business. He's 26. Still quite a lot to develop and will develop, I think. Room to develop, I believe. So, look, free transfer. Someone's already said pure profit. Yep, I agree with that. I think we're probably are giving Tosin. I'm not really sure the ins and outs. Can someone tell me about the contract? I think we are giving him a 5-year contract. I'm pretty certain. Even if he doesn't go all the way to 5 years and we sell him in, within 3 years, it's going to be pure profit anyway. So, and generally defenders, they start developing into top-notch defenders around this age, 26, 27, 28, 4-year contract, there you go. So even if we don't go all the way to 4 years, which I don't think we will, I really don't think we will go all the way to 4 years, because that will mean he'll leave Chelsea Football Club on a free as well. I think what's going to happen is we potentially look to give him a contract extension when it's 2 years to go, or we'll look to sell him for a good amount of money, depending on how he performs for Chelsea Football Club. I think he's got the right attributes to fit in under Maresca. I think he's quite good on the ball. He makes a lot of line-breaking passes. That's exactly what Maresca is going to look for. I believe he's someone who's comfortable on the ball. If we're looking to slow build up, I think that is the kind of caliber of defender that we need. However, having said that, I don't think Tosin is a shoo-in to start, though. I think initially he may be someone who comes off the bench, rotational type of a player, depending on how Wesley Fofana goes. Look, I do believe one of the defenders will be Levi Colwill. I fully expect Levi Colwill to take one of the defenders' position, and the other defender, if everything goes well for Wesley Fofana and he doesn't get injured, he has a stellar preseason, then I expect Levi Colwill and Wesley Fofana to be the two defenders. But we'll see. We'll see how it all starts. We are in Europe with Conference League next season, so all that depth is very much important. Tosin starts 100%. Jack saying Tosin starts 100%. Okay, you're confident. Look, that may be the case as well. I'm not taking anything away from that. All I will say is that don't get too excited about Tosin. He's a good defender, but I've seen bozo moments from Tosin as well. I think overall it's a good business, but I don't think we can sit here and go, ooh, this guy is a game changer. Do you know what I mean? We like to use the word game changer. Well, I like to use the word game changer. I don't think Tosin is a game changer kind of a defender. He's not off the Van Dijk caliber. He's not off the ilk of Rudiger, but I do think he's a decent defender. So to state that he's going to 100% start, we'll see. He may. But yeah, we need to calm down. But yeah, someone said the 100K wages, 4-year contract. Lovely stuff. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, he's been announced. And I'll touch base on this news later on tonight when we wrap up all the information. Now, the real big talk that I wanted to have with you guys, the real big conversation that I really wanted to have with you guys was 100% strengthening our bench. Yeah. Is Julian Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen, and also the fact that we have avoided breaching financial fair play. So we'll talk about the fancy financial stuff. One thing our club is good at, is from the financial side of things. Finding loopholes is it's a flick of the finger. To be honest, it's an easy thing for these owners that we have. We're going to get to that. It looks like we have avoided financial fair play issues for this season the last season that just finished, which obviously closes 30th of June. But next season, it is still a looming problem, and I'm pretty sure we are going to try and sell players to sort that out. And of course, we do need to make it into Champions League and whatnot. Look, whether we make it into Champions League, we'll see. But we do need to make it back into Champions League to open up more revenue stream. Valan, big up to you, my man. Miz, I was saying about Alvarez. What were you saying about Alvarez? Sorry, man, I forgot what you were saying. But yeah, big up to T1, big up to Young, Sky, Jack, Marvo, big up to you as well, my man. Marvo saying Alvarez to Chelsea is a real possibility. Enzo teasing us with his Instagram stories as well. Yes. Iki, big up to you. President Jafar, big up to you as well. Aman, big up to you. Lots of people already. Nearly 300 of you guys are in after 7.5 minutes. Appreciate that. Smash the like button, guys. Absolutely annihilate the like button. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification, do all that jazz. Make sure you follow us. You subscribe to the Playback channel. Straight after this live stream, we're going to go to Playback. Feroz and I will have a show there where we are going to take call-ins. So make sure you guys all come in, subscribe to the Playback, and make sure you call in so that we can hear what you guys have to say. Now, Julian Alvarez is the first news that we want to talk about. Things are heating up. Let's have a look at the news first, and let's then discuss about the whole situation. Chelsea will make a proposal for Julian Alvarez in the next few days. This is coming from our main man, Gaston Edul, who's very good when it comes to Argentinian player news. A lot of people are saying, well, no, I'm not sure a lot of people. Ashraf did say in the live chat that instead of the word will, it's more consider, depending on how we translate the whole thing. But there is a particular fan over here. She goes by the name of Bella. I think she's from an Argentinian descent. She's translated it. Thanks to Bella for translating the video below. So there's a video where this particular brother, Gaston Edul, talks about the whole Julian Alvarez situation. And it goes something like this. Chelsea will make an offer in the next few days. Atletico has asked for information from agents and the city. PSG interested in making an offer. Alvarez wants to play. City wants to keep him, and it won't be easy to negotiate. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of Chelsea will make a proposal for Julian Alvarez in the next few days. Before we even get into that, because obviously that in itself is quite exciting. Well, for me, it is. For me, it's exciting. I don't know about some of you guys. I think some of you guys are looking at Sesko, which I've got no issues with as well. Sesko is a different profile. Alvarez is a different profile. It's just a matter of what profile do you really want. No problems. And I suppose what type of game plan do you want to see Chelsea having next season? A lot of people think Sesko gives us far more balance. A few people think having Alvarez, the time of adaptation required in the Premier League, you're going to save on that. And plus, having Alvarez doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily mean that, there's no balance in the team. It just means it's a different way of playing the game, I feel, right? Now, before we talk about Alvarez and Chelsea potentially making an offer, I want to talk about whether this rumor actually makes sense or not, right? Whether this rumor actually makes sense or not. Now, first of all, I think Julian Alvarez, he's probably come to a point in his career at Manchester City where he wants to be the number one player. A lot of people say, well, Miz, why did he join Manchester City then? Well, he joined initially for 15 million. There wasn't huge expectation of him to start. I don't think he would have had huge expectation to start. I think initially he wanted to join, obviously, a well-drilled team like Manchester City, get his feet into the Premier League, and gain that experience. Now that 2 seasons have lapsed, now that 2 seasons have gone by, he's probably come to a situation and a realization that he's ready to be number one. He doesn't want to be number 2 at Manchester City. And you best believe he will be number 2 at Manchester City. When Erling Haaland is over there and the wages Erling Haaland is in, you're going to be number 2 over there. You know, regardless of how good of a talent you are, you're just going to be number 2 because Erling Haaland probably has a whole heap of different things in his clause that he will have to start. I'm not even surprised if he does have something like that. So one of the biggest reasons why Julian Alvarez got a lot more minutes last season that just finished is Haaland was injured. That's why Julian Alvarez got a lot of minutes. You best believe when Haaland is fully up and rock and rolling, which we saw later on in the season, Alvarez once again was off the bench. Very odd moments, odd games where Alvarez and Haaland started together, or maybe Haaland was benched. So Alvarez, I think it's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, he probably wants to be number 1. And you know what? I feel he's got the quality to be a number 1 striker besides being at Manchester City. I do think he has the quality to be a number 1 striker. So I think it can be safely said that he does want to move. That's number 1 thing that we need to realize. Does he actually want to move? I think he probably does want to move. Now, Manchester City wanting to keep him, I don't think that is a lie either. Yes, of course, Manchester City would want to keep a player like Julian Alvarez. He's a quality player. For Manchester City to have that level of quality, this is why they're champions year in, year out, because they've got immense quality when someone like Haaland is not available. So, of course, they would want to keep him. However, we have seen it many times with Pep Guardiola. If you can't align with him and the club and obviously the club's hierarchies, then they do let go of the player. They don't keep players that don't feel comfortable at Manchester City. So I do think Alvarez is looking to potentially leave, and he will potentially leave in this summer. I'll be very surprised if he actually stays because he will still be a second fiddle. He will still be a second fiddle. Okay, so now that we've established that he wants to leave, potentially, where could he go? Where could Alvarez actually go? Where could Julian Alvarez actually go? Shubra, big up to you, my man. Alvarez is a good striker, but no point in spending 70 to 80 million for him. Well, there you go. This is what Shubra is saying. Look, I believe Julian Alvarez in the Premier League, I don't think he'll go to Arsenal because I feel like him going to Arsenal, it's not going to change too much in the sense that where he would probably start, but then you have Gabriel Jesus over there, you've got Havertz over there, and I just don't think Arsenal's looking for Alvarez type of a striker, right? I think Arsenal's looking for more of a Sesko type of a striker because they have every other department quite sorted out. Any other clubs in the Premier League, I don't know whether Alvarez entertains. So from the Premier League, I think Chelsea is probably his best option. I can't imagine him going to Manchester United after playing for Manchester City. I don't know whether he would entertain United. United wants a striker. I'm not really sure whether he would accept to go to United. It's a bit of a mess. We are a mess to a certain level, but we are a little bit more organized than Man United. Man United got a lot of players they need to get rid of. They need to still make sure who's their manager. They don't even know who their manager is. So at least from that point of view, we're a bit ahead. So in the Premier League, I can't really picture anyone else besides us. At Chelsea Football Club, he'll be the number one striker. I fully think Alvarez is capable of being a very, very good striker. Naturalini is saying Alvarez, he's not coming. Yeah, he may not. He may not. Not saying this is a certainty. But what I'm saying is there is a lot of factors that may make him want to come to Chelsea Football Club. Enzo Maresca knows him very well. Cole Palmer knows him. Enzo Fernandez knows him very well. I'm pretty sure Joe Shields probably has some inklings about him as well. So there is a lot of things that's going for Julian Alvarez in terms of joining Chelsea Football Club. Having that Premier League experience also helps to ensure that the adaptation time is not something that takes too long. But the key factor is Alvarez will be, if he does make that change from City to Chelsea, he will be number one at Chelsea Football Club. I think that is huge for Alvarez, knowing that he is going to be the number one player, number one striker. That makes a lot of difference. Alvarez is in a moment in his career where he wants to be the face. Do you know what I mean? In order to continue well for your national, for your nation, for Argentina, you don't want to be second fiddle. You want to be a top dog somewhere, right? So Alvarez will get that at Chelsea Football Club. He'll be number one striker, no doubts about that. And it's a different challenge. Alvarez will firsthand be able to help us get back to top. At City, it's not much of a challenge for him. If it's not him, someone else is going to do the job anyway. City are just a ruthless, well-oiled machine that just wins over and over and over again. Whether Alvarez is there, whether Alvarez is not there, it don't matter for City. City will just keep winning. Okay? However, Alvarez coming to Chelsea, he could make a massive, massive difference for us. We're nowhere near at City's level or even Arsenal's level. But Alvarez could be that person, along with all the other players that we have, could help us get to that level. And I think that challenge should excite Julian Alvarez, knowing that he can do this, right? Knowing that he's got the ability to do this. Alvarez can play anywhere on the attack or as a number 10, and that is similar to Nkunku. Yeah, of course that's similar. Of course that's similar. But it doesn't matter, mate. At the end of the day, we can say even Olise and Cole Palmer, they're somewhat of a similar nature. Both can operate in many different areas of the field. But it all matters how they can play in different parts of the field and different roles. It's not a bad thing to have Nkunku on the left and also another type like Nkunku up front. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If that's how Maresca wants to operate, players that are fluid, players that can consistently rotate and be excellent everywhere, so that the level of your game doesn't diminish. Nkunku at times may start from left, but could drift internally, play in the inside channels, could sometimes be a striker, could sometimes be a second striker, could sometimes go on the right side. You need to be able to be very flexible, I feel, under Enzo Maresca. Julian Alvarez doesn't necessarily will have to play as a striker. Doesn't mean that he's just going to occupy a space in between the two defenders. No, sometimes he'll drop into midfield. Sometimes he'll go on the right. Sometimes he'll go on the left. Sometimes he'll play in the inside channel. These type of players are very necessary. in my opinion, are very, very necessary. There's a certain way of football that I feel we're going to try and play under Enzo Maresca. So, we don't need to worry about that. Oh, this player is similar to that player. I think it's good to be probably similar. I really do think it's good to be similar. Because then I know that the technical ability, that the footballing IQ should not differentiate too much. Now, of course, a lot of people will say, Miz, look, I'd rather have a Sesko up front, or I'd rather have, as the Super Monty is saying, I'd rather have an out-and-out number 9. Yeah, look, that is not a bad shout at all. That is not a bad shout. But that is one way of playing football. We have seen this league do well with strikers like your Aguero, strikers like your Suarez. Not saying Julian Alvarez is of that level. Not saying maybe one day he can be. I'm saying that we have seen strikers of similar stature, short. Do you know what I mean? Look at Carlos Tevez as well. Short strikers, like, they've done well. They've done really, really well. It's just another different type of playing football. We don't necessarily just have to go with a number 9. Having said that, I've got no issues. I've absolutely got no issues with us getting an out-and-out number 9. What I will, though, say is with Sesko, I don't think it's going to be as seamless as a lot of people think it is. I don't think it's going to be as seamless as a lot of people think it is. I think Sesko, if he does come to Chelsea Football Club, first of all, the thing about Sesko is, if I'm him, I'm actually choosing Arsenal before us, because I feel like Arsenal, every other department is well sorted out. The manager is quite settled in. I'd be looking to go to Arsenal, because for me, it would be less time to adapt over there. My mistakes probably could be hidden. You look at the way Havertz, his flaws are hidden at Arsenal Football Club. Havertz was deployed as a striker for us as well, and it didn't go well. So for Sesko to come in, new manager, lots of new players, it's going to take him a bit of time to adapt. It took him a bit of time to adapt at Leipzig as well. Sesko didn't adapt to Leipzig straight away. Sesko only came into fruition in the second half of the league. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. This whole thing about Aguero and Suarez were physical monsters. Alvarez isn't. Alvarez is 24, man. And I don't think he's some sort of a weakling. You don't play for Argentina if you're a weakling, man. I've seen Alvarez bounce off other players and hold his ground. Like, you don't play for Argentina if you're a weakling, You'll see in the Copa America. You'll see in the Copa America if Alvarez is actually a weak player. I don't think Alvarez is a weak player. Look, you may not want Alvarez, and that's fine. I don't think we need to put cases against him to make him look like he's not a fit for Chelsea Football Club. Do you know what I mean? You may not want the player, because honestly, the only thing why you may not want Alvarez is because he doesn't have that height. You want a tall player, potentially. Some people might want a tall player up front, like a Sesko. I get that. I absolutely understand that. But I'm also open for other ways of playing football. I don't just have one way of playing football. There should be multiple ways of winning a football game. And someone like Alvarez, I think he's a very smart operator. I think a lot of people are disregarding his brain. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people are disregarding his brain. Tall players ain't giving these days. Yeah, look, it's the new thing, tall players, right? It's basically Alvarez is a smart type of player as Nkunku. I think so. I think so. I absolutely think so. Yeah, similar mold. Similar mold. I do think Nkunku is probably probably a little bit better in terms of dribbling, but there's not too much difference. There's not too much difference. Nkunku is someone who could probably operate out wide a little bit more, but both these players are very good with one-touch passing, give and take kind of football. So give and go kind of football. So uh, look, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not too phased about the fact that they're similar. But yeah, coming back to the Sesko situation. Look, I think Sesko coming to Chelsea Football Club under a new manager, under new surroundings, it could be a bit daunting. It really could be a bit daunting. It could be a bit daunting. All right. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, your issues, anything that concerns you. I'm pretty sure height concerns you a lot. But yeah, coming back to another area of Alvarez, look, the money is going to be expensive. Alvarez, I mean, they're saying Manchester City saying somewhere around 80 million euros, pounds, whatever it is. That might be a bit expensive. Some people have said Alvarez is on 100k at the moment. So look, maybe from a wages point of view, he can probably make up to 150k. So that might not be an issue. Age obviously is a tick, but 80 million is going to be tough. 80 million is not something that we are just going to go out there and splash out. If we can get something around 65, 70 million plus add-ons, yeah, maybe that can happen. That's something that can happen. But 80 million will be an issue. Cuba, that's a bargain, miss. 70 million. 70 million would be nice. 70 million, some add-ons. Why not? In life no limits, big up to you. People talking about his height. Forget how lethal Tevez and Aguero were. Were they giants? Yeah, look, a lot of people are just caught up on the height factor because they feel football once again is going into that area. But I feel that's one way of playing football. There are other ways of playing football. Do you know what I mean? Look at Liverpool in their heyday. Look at Liverpool under prime Klopp. They didn't even operate with a striker. They had Firmino as a false nine, and they relied on inside forwards in the likes of Salah and Sadio Mane. They were just ruthless finishers. Salah and Sadio Mane are not the tallest players out there. But what they did was they threw in a lot of players inside the box. And they attacked with pace. I think this is something that I feel Maresca might do next season, is where the slow build-up will entice opposition to press us. And then we're going to try and get a fast breakout. We're going to create a false sense of counter-attack, I feel. We'll create a false sense of counter-attack. And yes, of course, there will be times where we're going to box the opposition in. But the quality of players we have should be far good enough technically to be able to open up the opposition. And players like Nkunku, and if we do get Olise, hopefully we get Olise, players like Nkunku, Olise, Cole Palmer, they're able to score from anywhere around the field. So from that perspective, I'm not worried. These guys are lethal weapons anyway. So we'll see what happens. Felix, big up to you, my man. Then my question is why spending 70 to 80 million on him, not getting Olise plus some other positions, instead of getting player that Nkunku could do the same job, if not better? Look, we are looking for a striker. And we are also looking for Olise. It's not that we're only looking for Olise. Once again, I'm quite okay if it's just Olise. Because I'm of the belief that Nicholas Jackson is probably going to be the guy up front next season. I think it might be Nicholas Jackson. RGN, Tosin Unveil, Miss. Yeah, you're too late, brother. We've already covered that. Too late. I'm of the belief that we could potentially play Jackson up front, Olise on the right, Palmer just behind, and Nkunku on the left. So That may happen as well. That may happen as well. Yeah, the issue is Jackson, can he be a ruthless finisher? So far, that's not been the case. That's not been the case. Felix, yeah, okay. So going back to that, yeah. Look, I think we will be spending on both these sides, and we're going to get rid of players as well. We're going to get rid of players. Phenomenal Finn. These short strikers always accommodate for their lack of height by ruthless finishing. They always got to be good with their shooting. 100% agreed. Seth, big up to you, Miz. My boss caught me watching your live stream at work. That's why I have been out for some time. I was lucky I wasn't punished because he's Chelsea fan and he watches your. Appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that a lot. Big up to your boss. Big up to you as well. Let your boss know. Look, I'm willing to take the blame. I'm willing to take the blame. Hopefully he lets you off and let him just show this clip and just tell him, look, Miz is saying, please let me off, please let me off. Big up to you, my man. Big up to you. And Mo, big up to you, my man. Having two players of the same profile helps, especially in case of an injury-prone player like Nkunku. Yeah, look, and also just because you have similar type of players, it's not a bad thing. I look at it that then there shouldn't be any diminishing factors across the field. Like you should be able to have similar levels of players all over the field. Similar technical ability, similar dribbling ability, similar shooting. That for me is a good thing. So I don't actually look at that as a negative way, especially when you're playing a possession-based football. If it was still Poch, if Poch was still around, then I'd look at it in a negative way because then I'd be like, yeah, Poch doesn't need two Nkunkus. Poch needs an Osimhen up front. I wanted Osimhen when Poch was still around. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a different way of playing football. Poch needs box-to-box midfielders, robust midfielders, because he likes to play basketball. However, when you're a possession-based footballing team and you need smart possession-based players, I've got no issues that you're similar in terms of your attributes on field. I've got no issues with that. Sammy Miz, you make a very good point, but I think having Sesko gives us another plan of if the original fails. Yeah, of course. Look, don't forget, if Sesko comes to Chelsea Football Club, I'm not certain whether he will start from the get-go. I think Nicholas Jackson will definitely contend with him, if not start. Do you know what I mean? So even with in fact, I think bringing in Alvarez, you actually have a plan B with Jackson. You can throw someone like Jackson up front. With Sesko, your plan A is either Sesko or Jackson anyway. So you don't really, unless your plan B is you want to put Nkunku up front and then you want to have Mudryk on the left or Sterling on the left and whoever on the right. Yeah. So I think either way we're quite safe with plan A's and plan B's and whatnot. As I said, Sesko obviously is superior in the air. Jackson, if Nicholas Jackson, do you know what? Nicholas Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, he has to improve next season. He has to improve. 100% Nicholas Jackson has to improve. We can't just be, look, I'm quite content with Nicholas Jackson. However, next season, he can't just give us what he gave us last season. Yeah, his dribbling is good. Yes, he's someone who can play out wide. Yes, his work rate is excellent. Yes, he's got fairly good technical abilities, no problems. But he has to improve his heading. He has to improve his in-the-box ability. Of course, he scored goals last season, but he needs the amount of misses that he's had and gilt-edged chances that he missed. He needs to improve on that. And his IQ, Joshua, yeah. The amount of times he should have passed and he doesn't pass, he needs to do a lot better. So That's something to keep in mind. We expect Nicholas Jackson to improve. And if he doesn't improve, then we need to make a decision with Nicholas Jackson. So that's probably another reason why I'm not too iffy about Sesko. If Sesko happens, no problems. I'm happy. But if it doesn't happen, I'm banking on Nicholas Jackson to do damage for us. You know what I mean? Alhambra, big up to you, my man. Just wait until Barcelona enters the chat and pulls some levers. They just signed a 100 million euros a year deal with Nike. You never know, man. Julian Alvarez. Yeah, look, if Barcelona come knocking and they have the right proposal, right, fee and the right wages for Julian Alvarez, yeah, he could potentially go there as well. He could potentially go there. It can all happen. The Super Monty, Sesko gives aerial threat that Jackson doesn't have. Jackson is awful aerially. Yes, no doubts he is. But are we expecting Jackson to be awful for the rest of his career? Because if that's the case, then we have to ask the question, what are we doing with Jackson? What are we actually doing with Jackson? We have to at least hope that maybe he can develop next season. And if he doesn't, then we got to get rid of. Because Jackson's type I can have in my team. Do you know what I mean? I can have in my team. I've got few players that can do Jackson type of role. But what I need from Jackson is I need him to be a striker. I really do need him to be a striker. And if he's incapable of being a striker, then I'm sorry. Why am I keeping him? That's how I look at it. Sesko and Jackson could potentially work together as well. Yes, Jackson could work far wide on the left side, and Nkunku can work behind Sesko. Cole Palmer can work on the right side. Many different things we can do with someone like Sesko. I've got no doubts about that. Absolutely got no doubts about that. Chelsea Empire, sorry to hear. What happened? Sorry, Miz, I won't be commenting for a few days. My mum's father got lung cancer and my stepfather died a few hours ago. All happened in 1 week. I will continue to support your channel once I heal. Brother, really, my condolences to you and your family. Bro, you know how much I love you, man. Yeah, reach out to me if you need to talk. If you need, I'm there for you, bro, because you are a massive supporter of the channel. And you going through pain is like all of us going through pain. So look, all my thoughts and prayers with your family, brother. Take your time. Don't worry about checking out what the content is for me. Don't worry about that. If you want to reach out to me, DM me. I'm more than willing to have a conversation with you, brother. Look, I know these times can be tough. So look, take your time, bro. Take your time, and we'll all be here for you once you're ready to come back. But right now, I'm pretty certain your family needs you. So look after them. Look after them and stay strong. Joe Shields, thank you so much for the super chat. We should get Chris Woods. Wow. Okay. No problems. Donation, thank you so much for this comment, my brother. Sorry to hear that. Oh, good luck, brother. Yes. Okay. I thought there was another comment that I saw. Sorry, I missed out on that comment. Rafael Leao, Sesko has pace, incredible dribbling, two-footed finishing, and much more. He works for crosses, running in behind, and slow build-up play. With his link-up quality, he's the one for me. Okay, now, so we talked a lot about Julian Alvarez. Now we're going to talk about our financial situation, because we did a bit of a madness. But before that, Man United tried to turn Tosin Adarabioyo's head with a late approach, but he had already agreed to move to Chelsea and kept his word. There you go. He wanted to join Chelsea. He didn't want to join Manchester United. Paul Winsley and Lawrence Stewart, we are delighted to bring Tosin to Chelsea. Throughout his career, he has showcased his maturity and defensive qualities and has gained a wealth of experience in the Premier League in recent seasons. He is ready to make the step up to Chelsea and work alongside the talented players in our squad. We look forward to Tosin joining up for the preseason, which is fantastic. Yeah, now that's great. Awesome. The Super Monty, thank you so much for the super chat. Sesko and Kunku will be at Julian Alvarez. Perfect. Yeah, look, I've got no issues with that. To be honest, I've got no issues. I'm just saying that I'd love to see Alvarez at Chelsea Football Club. All right. What I wanted to talk about was this, ladies and gentlemen. David Ornstein late yesterday broke that Chelsea avoided breaching the financial, so Premier League sustainability rules, financial fair play limit by selling the 2 hotels and car parks at Stamford Bridge to a sister company for 76.5 million. Sister company meaning really Bluesco. Chelsea selling it back to Bluesco, basically. This was enough to turn a 166.4 million loss in 2022-2023 into an 89.9 million deficit for the club. So it was enough to turn a 166.4 million loss. Ladies and gentlemen, we were about to make a 166.4 million loss in 2022-2023, which means we would have been in huge trouble from a financial fair play point of view because you need to be inside 103 million. We were looking to get done because our losses were at 166.4 million. Now, how did we survive? We survived that by selling our 2 hotels and car parks at Stamford Bridge to a sister company for 76.5 million, which brought the deficit down to 89.9 million. So we are well within that 103 million threshold. Now, we might have got away this time. And we may even get away next season by selling perhaps Cobham, right? However, I think the key aspect to look at is this. We made a loss again in 2022-2023. Don't forget, we already made a loss in last financial year as well, 96 million, right? Something like that. We made a big loss last financial year as well. So next season, we're probably going to make a loss still because Conference League, I don't think will give us that much money. Yeah, we'll get a little bit more revenue through Conference League from match day revenues and whatnot, extra games. But playing in the Conference League really that competition doesn't give you enough money. We still haven't got our front of shirt sponsorship yet. Not being in the highest level of European competition doesn't give you lucrative sponsorships either. So that is going to be an issue for us next season. But I think next season, we may even sell Cobham. I reckon we might even sell Cobham. Shuba saying, loss is not an issue, means the threshold of loss is the member. Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. 166.4 million, though. We were well beyond the threshold if we didn't sell the hotels, which tells you our operating losses are quite big. You know how we earn money through sponsorships, through match day revenues, through a whole heap of other revenues, right? Merchandise selling. And then there's operating expenses with playing, players' wages, a whole heap of amortization, the players' transfers. So our operating expenses creates a large loss, it seems like. Our revenue streams, we don't have enough revenue. And this is why I understand it now, like why we have this model of young players and we want to flip them for a lot of money because we don't make enough money. Chelsea Football Club don't make enough money. So this huge operating losses, even though this season we're at 89 million, next season again we'll be beyond the 103 million threshold. We'll be beyond that. We need to figure out ways to come back into the threshold again. We have to sell players. We 100% need to sell players. Players like Gallagher still needs to go for next financial year. Unfortunately, Martson needs to go. Unfortunately, in my opinion, Amanda Broya needs to go. All of these players need to go. And we do need to get back into Champions League football ASAP. And yes, our stadium is too small. Way too small. Cuba, who are we going to sell next, Jimmy's? There isn't a lot of candidates. Madueke, Sterling, Cucurella. Look, for next season, whatever sales happen this summer will be for next financial year. So I think next financial year we might be sorted. I think for next financial year we might be sorted. Because the sales, the player sales we're going to make will hopefully allow us to be inside. Don't forget, we're going to purchase players as well. So, yeah, man, look, eventually enough, all of these fancy financing, we have to find a way. We need to get back in. We need to get lucrative sponsorships, man. We have to. This is why our owners, they're looking to gain that American market. They're looking to make a lot more money overseas. Make us a global brand. This is why that Air Jordan brand was very important. And we didn't get it. One of the biggest issues is that we're not in Champions League. That is hurting us massively. We have to get back into Champions League, man. We definitely need to get back into Champions League. We may have avoided breaching the financial fair play this last season that just finished, and the upcoming season, I think we should be fine as well. But the sustainability of the club for years to come, what are we going to do? And we have to make it back into Champions League. That's the only way I see it, because that's going to bring new sources of revenue. And as I said, look, down the track, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if players like Palmer, players like Kendry Paez, if these players, look at Omari Hutchinson. Omari Hutchinson's going to be sold. Omari Hutchinson will be sold. Cassidy will be sold. Who knows? Maybe even Andre Santos will be sold. Every season we'll have players that will be ready to be sold for a good amount of money. I think that's the only way you're going to survive. Unless you make it into Champions League. Alhambra, I'll bet we will sell naming rights to the stadium, get more sponsors, and sell more players. I'm not worried about the financial side whatsoever. You're right, man. They'll find fancy ways. They will find fancy ways. They will. So far, we've sold hotels and a car park. There was talks about Cobham as well. Naming rights, all of that, man. All of that will be up for grabs. But yeah, we are sorted for at least now. Hanad is saying 2025, 2026, if we don't make Europe, then financial fair play will eventually catch up to these owners if they close every loophole. Exactly. 24, 25, we might be all right. 25, 26. This is why there's so emphasis on us to do well in the Club World Cup at the end of next season. Club World Cup is 2025, and our owners really want to do well in Club World Cup because there's a lot of money there. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Over 500 people live. Number 1, smash the like button. Number 2, subscribe if you're here for the first time. Let's race to 34,000. Let's race to 40,000, really. Number 3, leave a comment on anything that we talked about. And 4, join us in the playback. The comment is pinned to the live chat. I want to see all you guys. Transfer to playback. Subscribe there. It's a call-in show. Call in. We'll hear what you guys have to say. Firoz will join me over there as well. And I shall see you guys all over there. Marva, big up is good stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, my brother. Joshua, I hope you feel 100% soon. Yeah, my throat is giving up. But we're gonna fight on. But yeah, I want to see each and every one of you guys in playback. Subscribe in playback. The link is in the comment section pin. I'll see you guys there. Until next time, take care. See ya. Bye.